We are live, and I have managed to break technology. I don't know how I did that. Um, those of you that are able to join us tonight, thank you very much and welcome to the show. All I'm going to do tonight is introduce myself and then tell you specifically how I went from 100 customers a year, getting 100 new customers a year in my window cleaning business here in Missoula, Montana, to getting over 100 new customers every single month. I'm going to pause just a second and check some technology and send a quick message to my administrator, and I'm going to get right back over here and right back into it. I want to greet you and thank you for being on here, but give me just a second, okay? And we're almost ready. Sorry. But for some reason, we're having a little trouble with people joining us here. I'm getting some messages on the side. That's what I'm doing right now is checking my text and making sure people get online. So one more second and we're going to roll. Okay. And one more thing, and we're going to get this thing moving. All right. I'm back, and sorry for that delay. So we're going to get right into it. I'm very transparent, and I'm going to let you know pretty much anything that I'm thinking or what I've been doing or what I am doing. First thing you need to know is that my warehouse and my secret lair right here, where you joined me, is directly next to a railroad tracks. I don't know if you can hear the train going by right now, but it's pretty noisy, and it'll pass, and we'll move on. So you might hear a loud bang once in a while as the train's moving, stuff like that. But here's what we're going to do tonight. I've already mentioned that I'm just going to share with you how my business transformed, what I did to transform it in a huge way. And this was about 5 years ago in 2011. And what I did to go from getting 100 new customers a year to getting well over 100 new customers a month. And I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to share with you pretty bluntly everything. I'm going to tell you what worked, what didn't work, what I would do again, what I do every day, and what I would never do again. And I hope that you get some value out of this. So, if you will, go to our Facebook page there on Squeegeology, and you can see there's put a post out that says we're live. And go ahead and post your comments there below, and we'll do a little interaction. My chat box isn't working right, so I'll be going back and forth, sharing my screen and looking at the Squeegeology thing. So right now, all I want to do is give you a little background. So I appreciate you being on here. And here's the thing. I want you to know who I am and why I'm doing this webinar. My name's Sid Graff. I own a window cleaning company called Spectrum Window Cleaning out in Montana. I've been cleaning windows and owning and operating a business for 23 years, which is a really long time. It goes by fast, kids. Our current business here in Missoula is 13 years old, and we do very well. We're not a gigantic, huge company, but it's very comfortable. But it wasn't always that way. So I'm going to go way back to where I started my company. I started very scrappy. Actually, my wife and I just got married, and we lived in Clearwater, Florida, and I knew exactly nothing about window cleaning. Matter of fact, it had never crossed my radar. But we were working. I needed to make rent, and we'd struggled with a couple of jobs. I didn't complete my college education, so I didn't have a degree. I didn't really have any marketable skills other than the fact that I'm not afraid to work and I'm not afraid to hustle. I grew up working and working hard. So here's the thing. I had a next door neighbor that cleaned windows, and he seemed to be doing pretty good. And I'll tell you more about that in the future. But I asked him one day, I said, Jude, do you mind if I join you, if I just follow you around and watch you clean windows? I need to make some money for rent. And he said, sure, come on, join me, let's go. So I rode with him for a few hours. It was maybe 4 or 5 hours, and he was doing route work. easy window cleaning stuff. And after 5 hours, he had about $180 cash, which for me was a fortune at the time. And I said, man, do you mind if I clean windows also? I mean, I don't want to be your competition. And he just laughed because we were in a county that had 1.5 million people in Tampa Bay, Florida, in that area, Pinellas County, if you know it, Clearwater specifically. And so anyway, that evening, he gave me an old squeegee and he gave me a pickle bucket. And he's like, go for it. So I did. I printed some little cheapy flyers and started hanging flyers on doors and I started knocking out, going door to door on businesses, asking to clean their windows, asking if they want an estimate. And I just got real scrappy and started getting some jobs. And I learned along the way. And over the course of 8 years, I built a business that I thought was doing pretty good. It was about $120,000 a year. That's gross. So frankly, that's not that great. But it was a lot to me and my wife at the time. Then we moved to Montana, started all over again, and we started this company here called Spectrum. And we started from scratch, and started from scratch in a way that, oddly enough, we were so broke that when I went out to start getting jobs. Now, the interesting thing then is then I had 8 years experience and I knew how to get work and I knew how to start fast. But when I went out to get jobs, I went out and sold a bunch of jobs ahead of time and scheduled them for the next week or two. And when I showed up to, when it was time to go do the work, I actually went to a Home Depot and I wrote a hot check. I'm not proud of that, but that's truth. Wrote a hot check for the equipment and supplies and a ladder that I needed to get things going. And then I started business. So I have to pause for a moment. Like I said, I'm going to be transparent, but my son's calling me from college and I have to say hello and take his call. Hello? Yeah, it is. Is it possible for me to call you back or is it something urgent? Oh, that'd be great. Why don't you give me an hour? I'm teaching a class right now. Cool. All right, thanks. Okay, that was weird. Sorry about that interruption. I thought it was my son calling from college, which usually means that it's emergency or he needs money, but it wasn't. It was probably a telemarketer. Sorry for the interruption. But anyway, started off a new company from scratch, broker than a joke, but we had to make it work. So I think the first year we probably made $20,000 or $25,000, which is a joke. But I tell you that so that you know that I understand and I know what it's like to struggle and to need to get more business, to want to get more business, and to work at it really, really hard. Now, here's the thing: when I made the shift from hitting 100 customers a year to 100 a month, I wasn't working any harder. I just learned a few things, and that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. So thanks for kind of bearing with me for the backstory, but I wanted you to know what was going on. So I had somebody ask me one time, because I kind of tongue in cheek, I said, hey, look, I'm a window cleaning marketing expert. And they're like, really? What makes you an expert? I mean, what credentials do you have? And I thought about it and I'm like, well, I don't have any brand name credentials. I don't have a degree, don't have an MBA in marketing. I do have 23 years business experience growing a business. But the main thing is, then what I'm going to share with you tonight is that in one single 6-month period, I took our database. It took us 6 years to go from 0 to 600 customers in our current business. And then I did something interesting. During the winter times when it gets slow, we're here in Montana, it gets pretty slow. I went ahead and started studying. I would get the stack of books. I'm going to show you. I still do this. See if you can see this. See the stack of books over there? That's part of what I'm reading right now. There's another stack behind me that I'm not going to show you because my bookcase is messy. But I started studying business so that I could do better. And what I really got into was I started studying marketing. I started studying a lot of direct response marketing. And so one winter, I just studied like mad, and I made a specific and detailed marketing plan. And I believe it was spring 2011. I turned on the plan and I got busy. And I will tell you that in 6.5 months, we added 1,200 customers to our customer list. So that's almost 200 customers a month. Now, I'm going to give you the nitty gritty on that, because that sounds pretty dramatic, and it is. But here's the fact of the matter. That year, a good friend of mine who had a small window cleaning company here in town, he had 400 customers. He fell off a ladder and broke his leg. And he was a little bit older gentleman. And he said, Sid, I'm not doing that anymore. Once I heal, I'm going to move south and retire. And he asked me and made me a good offer if I would buy his business. And I did. So I acquired, with that business, I got 400 customers from his database. So that leaves me from 1,200 down to 800 new customers that we got by marketing. And that's what I'm going to dig into tonight. So that's the backstory. And I hope you don't mind listening to all that, but I just want to give you the nitty gritty. So breaking it down, 800 new customers in 6 months. And I hope you're getting some value out of this. If you're getting some value, just click the button there and give me a thumbs up and do that. And good. Thank you. That's cool. All right. Do you want me to show you the methods that I used to get an extra 100, 150 customers a month? Would that be valuable to you? Would that be helpful? Is that something you'd like to do in your own business? Would it be, and I don't know where your business is and where it, what you're doing right now or what you did last year. I don't know if you've got a $100,000 business or $1 million business or larger. So hopefully what I'm going to share with you is something that you go, yeah, man, I really want to know how to jack 100 customers a month. That sounds negative. How to jack my business so I get 100 customers a month or more. So I'm going to go through it. The first thing I want to tell you is that when I talk to other window cleaners about business, usually they just want to know about tactics. They want to know about tactics, not taxes, tactics. Give me just a second. I'm going to see if I can change over and share my screen. I think this will be helpful. Be very helpful. All right. Give me just a second. And I'm going to endeavor not to break technology again, because I did earlier. Okay, hopefully what you're seeing right now on your screen is, there we go. Okay, this is on our Squeegeology fan page. All right, you see it, Squeegeology, you see the pretty building, my handsome face right there. That's awesome. Here's the post. This is, we're live. Go ahead and post down below. That'd be great. And let me scroll down just a little bit. Let's see. I think most of you saw this picture in this post about a week and a half ago, and that's why you're on this webinar. We'll get to that in a minute. But let me switch over to my fancy not PowerPoint. I have mentioned that I'm not really a tech guy, but this is the webinar we're digging into right now. So I've already told you this. I got into studying marketing in the winter, and then I turned on the marketing machine and started churning out customers like crazy. So here we go. Now I'm getting to where we are. All right. So like I mentioned just a second ago, most people want to know what are the methods that I use. They want the nitty gritty. They want the tactics. They want to know, what did you do? Did you put out flyers? Did you put ads to television? Did you do radio? To what? What got you all that business? What did you do? And here's the thing. That's a good question, but it's really not the ideal question, because the fact of the matter is it was less of what I did than more of these two things, mindset and strategy. So as far as mindset is concerned, that's actually the most important and most valuable thing that I could share with anybody about any business. It's got to be what's in your head. That's a lot more important than the tactics and the doodads and the things that you do. So here's the mindset. After studying marketing so much over the winter, it wasn't just one winter. This was like the third year in a row I'd studied it, but I didn't really implement it because I was afraid. But once I got it down and I really started digging into the marketing study, here was what happened to my mindset. I really started to believe and to aim for total market penetration. Maybe penetration is not the right word. Maybe domination is the right word. So you get to see how beautiful my handwriting is. That's why my assistant despises reading my notes. Domination. And here's what that looks like. Total market domination. What I started doing when I go into a neighborhood and I have one house that is supposed to be a house, but there are 30 houses on the street, I would look at all of those houses and imagine very clearly in my mind, I see us not doing just one of them, but us doing every single home in the neighborhood. I wanted to own entire neighborhoods. Those look like little weird t-shirts, but these are houses. I wanted to own entire neighborhoods. I wanted to schedule in a way where instead of going to do one house, that we did one, and then the next door neighbor, and the next door neighbor, and the next door neighbor. And then in my mind, I could clearly see this person, this is starting to get really chicken scratchy, telling this person, and them telling this person, and them these customers marketing for me. That's what I had in mind. And what I wanted to see was a total market domination. I wanted to own entire neighborhoods. Own it. Man, I write lousy. Thanks for bearing with me. But that's the thing. I want to own entire neighborhoods, entire sections of town. Now, has that come to pass? Has that become a reality? To a large degree, yes. Yes, I go into a neighborhood or I do work on a street, and we don't do every single house on it, but we do more than just one. Oftentimes, there are 10 houses on a small street. We do 6, 7, even 8 of all the houses on the street. And that's fantastic. So that was the first thing. And that was probably most important. And realizing that it's not that difficult to completely penetrate and dominate a marketplace when you break it down and nicheify it, when you go small and narrow. Somebody said it's better to go 1 inch wide and a mile deep than it is to go 1 mile wide and an inch deep. So that's what I did. And, mindset was to own the neighborhood in its entirety, to be the guy going in there. So the next thing that led to strategy. And because without a solid strategy, your tactics are not going to make that much difference. Okay, so here's what I did in strategy. My primary strategy, and I want you to get this. I want you to feel it on here. The strategy is this. Okay, I'll just tell you, it's not that difficult. I just made a decision that I wanted people to perceive me in a certain way. And why is that? Let me share with this. This is psychology 101 or marketing 101. Perception equals reality. Maybe I did that backwards. Reality equals perception. Perception is reality. If a person thinks something's a certain way, that's the way it is. They absolutely believe that's the way it is. So the perception and reality I wanted people to have is that we are everywhere. I'm not going to write that out. That we're everywhere. I wanted our customers, our potential customers, my current customers, my future to be customers. I wanted them to see us every time they turned around. They got to see, boy, that's ugly. They have to see us. They had to see Spectrum on every stinking corner. Now, what does that look like? I mean, all right, I'll tell you a little backstory, or just a little bit with our business. We're real careful to track everything we do. As far as when a customer calls, I want to know how did they hear from us? How did they find us? And I track that because I want to know what's working and what's not working. So if I find something that's working well, then I double down on it. I add to it. If it's an advertising campaign, if it's a certain strategy, I'll do more of it if it's working well. So track everything. And here's the normal thing. Most of the time people will tell us something wonderful like, this is what we all love to hear. They would say, heard about from a friend. Yes, a referral. Excellent. Or saw your truck. And I can't spell that. Truck. Rhymes with buck. Kidding. Or we got your flyer. Or whatever. There's 1,000 different channels that people can hear about you from. But ordinarily, what was going on before we started this marketing onslaught is people, when I'd say, how'd you hear about us? They'd say, heard about it from a friend, or we saw your truck, or we got the flyer on our door, or we get your mail, or whatever. Here's the thing, they would tell me one thing. About 2 months into our marketing blitz, as I'll call it, this is what was happening. And this is how I knew that it was working. I'd say, how'd you hear about us? And they're like, oh, wow, we heard about you from a neighbor. We saw a truck in our neighborhood. We saw a sign. I don't know, 2 or 3 friends told us about it. I don't know, you guys are everywhere. I ran out of paper here. Everywhere. And that's when I knew that what we were doing was working like crazy. So we heard about you everywhere. So I wanted to show up in people's reality everywhere. So now with that, I'll stop teasing around and just get to the point. You go, what did you do? Here's a quick list of the methods. I'm going to dig into each one just a little bit. We're not going to dive too deep, but we're going to dive in some. So here's some of the methods that we used. And these are things that you've probably done before. But the thing that makes a difference and why this worked so well and why we got so much business that I had to stop marketing. We had to stop marketing. I don't want you to read that and think I'm telling you to stop marketing. We got so much business coming in that we just stopped. For 2 years, I didn't do one single bit of new customer marketing because we had to catch up to the flood of business that we had generated, which is a great problem to have, but it was a problem. So here's what we did. Number one, we put out a ton of flyers. I'm going to break something. Sorry. Let me get back to it. Methods, mindset, strategy. Here we go. Sorry. Technology and me. So started putting out flyers. So right now, I'm just going to show you an image of the flyer that we used. And I'm going to tell you something. It just is not that difficult. The flyers we used were, it's funny. Hold on, let me stop screen share. Let me get back over here. Okay, I've got a copy of that flyer. Hold on. Let me tell you something. Don't be embarrassed for me. Whatever, this cheap and easy flyer, this thing has been a cornerstone of our business for a very long time. This is not even pretty. It's not a great flyer at all, but it does a couple things well. One, it asks a question. Dirty windows? Question mark. What happens when someone asks you a question? Most of the time, someone asks you a question, you automatically answer. Even if you read a question, you'll answer it in your mind. So I started with a question. Dirty windows? We can help. Here's the question. Dirty windows? Yeah, I got dirty windows. Well, here's the solution right here. We can help. And then it just says, hey, we clean windows. We can help you. We do this, this, and this. This is actually too busy. When I redesign this, I definitely won't do it. Here's a logo. Here's the name. Here's the phone number. That's not even special. And the yellow on black is kind of ugly. But I'll tell you what. Here's what we did with these flyers. We turned around and we put those flyers freaking everywhere. No, that's not true. Here's what I did. In our town, I narrowed it down to 5 neighborhoods that I really wanted to focus on. I picked 5 neighborhoods. They represent about 1,200 to 1,400 homes. And every 2 weeks, every one of those houses got a flyer for 6 weeks. And I guarantee you most people threw those flyers right in the garbage. But we got a steady response rate of 1.5% to 2% of people calling us. So, that means we put out 1,000 flyers every 2 weeks. We got 10 to 15, sometimes 20 calls. 20 calls every other week just based on the flyer. That's cool. The next thing we did, and I'll loop back around and stuff, but while I've got while you can see me with the camera, I want to show you this. Next thing we did was lawn signs. And I'm going to show you what I consider to be a very ugly lawn sign. It's not great, but here it is. Woo! Isn't that sexy? Look, all it says is window cleaners. I don't even know what it says. Window cleaning, another great job. Call for a free estimate. Spectrum. Here's got my logo on it. It's got a website. It's got a phone number. This I consider to be too busy now. I'll simplify it when I print new ones. But we ordered 100 of these, and I still got about 10 of them left. So hang on a second. We're getting new ones made as we speak, and they're much more simple. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to go back to the non-PowerPoint here. Let me switch back over. Give me just a sec. Okay, good. Present to everyone. Hopefully you can see this. I hope all this is working out okay. I can't really tell if you're able to see what I'm seeing. So I'm going to loop back around real quick. Hopefully you're seeing the word flyers, lawn signs. Number one, when we did flyers, we picked specific neighborhoods. And we ended up, we just targeted about 1,200 homes. And every 2 weeks, every one of those homes got a flyer. Now, when I started business on my, when I first started out, I was just working by myself. Man, I was putting in the hustle. And I would go out every Saturday morning and every Sunday morning at 4 a.m., and follow the delivery person around. And I would put my little yellow flyer sticking out of the butt end of the newspapers. Now here, when people used to get newspapers and they were actually relevant, which they're pretty much not anymore, there's a mailbox. Everybody's got their mailbox at their house. And then beneath the mailbox is this little tube or, a square box. And this was for the newspaper. And as you well know, or at least I hope you know, never, ever, ever put anything in the mailbox or on the mailbox. You can't tape it to the mailbox. You can't put it inside. I think that's a federal offense and it will get you in a lot of trouble. So never stick anything in a mailbox. But these little private tubes for the Missoulian, for the newspaper, this is private property and you can stick anything in there you want. And people do all the time. But I would wait until the newspaper person stick the paper in, and then I would just come behind them and stick my little nifty flyer right in the butt end of that paper. So it would show up. And when people come out to get their paper on Saturday morning, they'd pick it up and they would say, what's this? They pull out my little flyer and they go, wow, this guy's awesome. Let's call him. At least that's what I wanted to have happen. We know the reality is that 1 out of 100, maybe 2 out of 100 people actually call. That's fine. You don't need 100% response to build a good business. Okay. Now, what do we do with lawn signs? Do you use lawn signs? Man, I hope you do, because I found them to be incredibly effective for a couple of reasons. One, when you're working in a nice neighborhood that you want to capture, that you want to dominate, then when you do a job, this is what we do. When we finish the job, we just go, hey, Mrs. Johnson, everything's done, blah, blah. She's happy. And we go, would it be okay if we put one of our lawn signs in your front yard and leave it for 1 week? We just 1 week. And we're going to come back by and pick it up and take it away. And if you ever get tired of looking at it, you just pull it out of the ground and throw it in the garbage or put it beside your house or something. I don't care if you throw it away, but I would be really grateful if you would let us leave it there for 1 week. That way the neighbors know who you had do your windows and they can give us a call too. About 70% of people said yes. And the people that said, no, I don't want a sign in my yard, we're like, thank you, no problem. Okay. And we did have people pull them out and throw them away. And it's not a big deal because the signs like this, if you buy them by the 100, they cost, you can get them for about $4 a piece. So that's a $400 investment. But if you keep reusing them, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. And if you happen to lose one or throw it away, consider it it's just an advertising cost, a marketing cost. A coffee costs you $4 and you spill it and it's gone. No big deal. So anyway, we put these lawn signs up. Now, here's what happens. Here's what happens with the lawn signs. A lot of people think, oh, those are annoying. I wouldn't want that in my yard. I think that about political campaign signs. We're getting into presidential campaign time, and I see these signs up all the place, and I don't like them. But if you make a good impression and you do a great job with somebody's, you serve them well and give them, exceed their expectations, ordinarily they're glad to let you leave one there. But what happens is that sign is not for them. Their sign is for their neighbors. If you're in a nice neighborhood and you leave a sign in the yard and their neighbor every day for 7 days sees that sign, pretty soon they're going to get the itch. And even better than that is if you do more than one house in a neighborhood and you've got another sign on the same street. And maybe you've got a sign in on the corner where everybody turns into that neighborhood. You got where every neighbor that comes and goes to work sees your sign 1 time, 2 times, 3 times or more, or they see it in other neighborhoods they pass through on the way to work. That is powerful. That is so powerful. Okay, I'm going to erase all that. Next thing that we used was direct mail. And I'm a fan of direct mail because you can put your message, exactly into the hands of the people that you want to get it. I like to use Every Door Direct Mail. It's called EDDM. It's less expensive. You can use a good color postcard. I actually didn't bring one here to show you, but you can mail out a postcard by zip code or by carrier rates. I won't go into that, but each zip code is divided into different zones. So if this is all one big zip code, then the carrier routes are divided like this. Boy, this is ugly. But you can pick 1, 2, 3. You can pick as many zones as you want, carrier routes, for it to be delivered. And it goes to every single person in that route. And that is good. That is very good. The primary way that I use direct mail, and I have always used direct mail this way, is simply mailing my postcards. We have 4 or 5 postcards every single year that go out to every single customer. And this one will talk about spring cleaning. We send out that postcard every single year, same time of the year. It's always in April, and it always rocks. This is actually the second postcard they get every year. We send one out in March as well, just to get people primed and ready. But this goes only to my current customers. So I always mail 4 or 5 times a year to our current customers. And that is the most effective mailing that I ever do, because people, they already know, like, and trust you. And it's just like you get a reminder card from the dentist saying, hey, it's time to clean your teeth, every 6 months. We do the same thing for our people. We remind them that it's time to call and have their windows cleaned. It's not a big deal. Everybody expects that kind of thing. And it's great when you do it. Okay. People appreciate the reminder. All right. Next thing we did is we did a radio spot. Now, let me just speak very bluntly about window cleaning, advertising, and radios. We had a radio spot. I think I put $400 into having this radio spot play for a week or so. But here's the thing. I cannot track one single customer, not one, to an ad on the radio. I sincerely believe that advertising on the radio for a window cleaner is a bad idea. And for 2 reasons. One, it's people listen to the radio, if anybody listens to the radio anymore. I mean, most people are listening to their iPod or Pandora or Spotify or some other streaming music. They're not listening to local radio station. The people that are, they're usually sitting at work or they're driving. And it would be rare indeed that your radio spot stands out so much that they remember your phone number or your website or even your company name. All they're going to remember is, if it, in this context, this window cleaning, advertising, they're going to remember, they're going to think, ooh, dude, I need to get my windows cleaned. That's all it's going to do. And then they're going to go Google window cleaners and they're going to find somebody, and maybe it's you and maybe it's not. But I was very strategic. The reason I did this is I combined this radio spot, and it only ran for a week. I combined it with the direct mail and the flyer blast. I'll call it flyer blast. And I've been putting my flyers out all over these houses, and I just wanted, remember, going back to mindset and go back to strategy, I wanted people to say and think and perceive, which becomes a reality. Damn it. Sorry, guys. I screwed up my screen again. I wanted people to think and believe that these guys are everywhere. Everywhere. So that's what I did. I put out the flyers. I sent out the, man, I can't make my pen work. Put out the flyers. We had lawn signs going up when we did jobs. We did the direct mail, and we did the radio spot. And we did all that at the same time. And we did it to make sure that people just thought we were every freaking place you can imagine. They're like seeing us, they're hearing us. If they're an existing customer, they're getting a postcard. If they're not an existing customer, they're getting a special offer in the mail. If they are an existing customer, they get a special offer in the mail. They get a flyer in their newspaper box or on their front door. They hear us on the radio. They're all over the place. And we also did a little bit of Facebook advertising. And this was not Facebook advertising with an ad that you click on that says, click here to get your windows cleaned or get an estimate or anything like that. I haven't found those to be horribly effective. We have gotten some new business from that, but we don't do that typically. What we do on Facebook, which has been very effective, and this is more playing into the strategy of, man, you guys are everywhere, is we'll write a standard post. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you one. We'll just write a post on our Facebook page. Hopefully I can do this and you don't see everything in the world that I'm doing. Here's our Spectrum Window Cleaning. It's the name of a company here in Montana. Look, I've got an ugly Facebook page, but people love it. It's got our logo. It's got a picture of the crew. And then I just put up a post. And let's see. I don't want this. Here's an example. We got a 5-star review a couple days ago. So I posted, thanks, Stephanie, for your 5-star review. We appreciate you. And I did a screenshot of that post. And then I posted it here on Facebook. And I boosted it for $2 so that more people would see it. Everybody in Missoula that it likes our page, or their friends of people that like our page that are in our town. And you can do all that with Facebook. You can get really nitty gritty with your ad targeting. It says here it wasn't boosted. They boosted it for a while, and then they realized that it didn't meet guidelines because it's got too much text, and they took it off. But still, 255 people saw it. Over here, I put up a very, just a very fast video that we did, and I boosted this, and it said 660 people saw this. So I boosted. It doesn't even say click here to get your windows cleaned or schedule. It just does stuff. Let's see. Here's a picture of our vans in the snow. I don't know if I boosted that or not. Yeah, I did. So we got some more people to see it. I want people to see us everywhere. You get the point. You get the picture. Okay. So, and then the next thing is, as far as being perceived all over the place, and I hope you guys do this already. I'm sure you do. Is make sure that your vehicles are plainly lettered. Here is a very ugly drawing of a truck. And I hope you have a big lettering on the side of that truck that says window cleaning. And I hope it's not too cluttered. Just window cleaning and a phone number. That's all you need. And I'm sure you've seen times where people, they've got their vehicle so covered with lettering that you have a hard time understanding what it is. They say window cleaning, carpet cleaning, power washing, teeth cleaning. We'll babysitting. They've just got 400 things listed on here that they do. And honestly, if somebody sees your truck in traffic or something, you get about 1 second. And I believe that, get off of there. Okay, I don't know what I did there. Too funny. I'm breaking this again. I believe that it's dynamically important on all of your materials for people to be able to understand, to see and understand at a glance exactly what it is you do. So our vehicles, our vans just say window cleaning on the side. Do we do more than window cleaning? Sure. We have, half a dozen other services, but vans say window cleaning and they've got the phone number right there. And that's it. That's it, because that's enough information right there. And it's big enough. People can see it from 100 feet away and read it. If they want, they can whip out their phone and take a picture, and they've got the number, and that's cool. That's all. All right. So I'm gonna wheel back around to this. I mentioned, which, and I shared in a little bit of detail, the most important thing about what we did was just the strategy, the mindset of we're going to dominate this marketplace, and the strategy of we want people to see us everywhere. They're just, and you know what is funny? I'll tell you a quick story. I think I'm gonna flick back around here. Hold on. Hopefully I don't break this again. I keep goofing things up. Hi, I'm here. Okay. So we have, at the time that we were starting the strategy, well, 2010, 2011, we had 2 vans. 2012, we had 4 vans. Okay. And I'm this slow of a learner. When we had 4 vans, we only had 1 of them that actually had good signage on them. 2 of them had magnetic signs that were crappy. Okay. But it's what I had at the time to work with. So I went with it. But even when we only had 1 van that was lettered, I'd have personal friends and customers say, Sid, I see you guys everywhere. Your trucks, how many trucks do you have? You probably have 6 now. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm glad you see us. That was my response. My mind, I was going, we have 1 truck and people think that we have 6. Why the hell haven't I lettered the other 3 trucks? So I hustled out and got those vans lettered so that everywhere they go, they're a rolling billboard. The most valuable point in time for these trucks is when they're in somebody's neighborhood. If you live in a nice neighborhood and you look out the window and across the street is a big van that says window cleaning right there, it's got the phone number, and you see that they're, Martha's having her windows cleaned. And then you might be, Miss Maggie says, oh gosh, Martha's getting hers done. I need to get mine done too. Because yes, people do have a competitive streak and they do like to keep up with the Joneses, and that's good. So they decide they want their windows clean. Your phone number is sitting right in front of their face, so they can give you a call. Of course, the other thing is when you leave, you get that sign in the yard. Yeah, leave the sign up. And Maggie sees that every day for a week. And that just reinforces. And this is good. So let me just tell you a little bit. When it came time to do all these things, we did not spend a ton of money. And we were perceived to be everywhere, but only to the people in those specific neighborhoods we were working. There's a part of town that we don't want to work in. The house values are low. The income is really low. It's not a good fit. People there probably shouldn't be paying to have their windows cleaned. They probably have other more pressing concerns. They get bills to pay. And that's not our ideal customer. So, excuse me. Hang on. For those people, we probably never crossed their radar. They didn't see our signs in their neighborhood. They didn't see our trucks in the neighborhood. They did not get a flyer. They did not get a mailer. They may have heard it on the radio, but all these things they did not hear. Matter of fact, they didn't see us on Facebook, because you can target your Facebook demographic really narrowly, and that's what we do. Okay, next thing, and I left it off the list, but I saved it for last, not because it's the best, but this is very interesting, and I if nothing else, oh crap, we did a bunch of other stuff. I didn't look at my next page. Haha. Get this. We're about to jump back in. We'll go back to screen share, okay? Excuse me. Okay. Next thing we did a coupon. I am personally deeply averse to giving discounts and doing coupons, but we did it that year, and I did it for a specific reason. I wanted to, again, be perceived as we are everywhere. So similar, you're probably all familiar with Groupon in our town, and I don't know if it still exists, but there was a coupon thing that was done in conjunction with a newspaper and online, and it was called Seize the Deal. So every week a new Seize the Deal comes on, and they only sell these coupons for a day or for whatever it was. Well, here's the way it works on the Seize the Deal. I'm gonna start chicken scratching again. Okay, so Seize the Deal. I go in and I come up with a really great offer. Here was my offer. You get $100 worth of window cleaning for $50. That's the coupon. So people got half off of their window cleaning. This looks really ugly, so I'm gonna get rid of it. So basically we gave away $100 for $50. That's a damn good deal for the consumer. All right, here's the way the coupon thing works. The coupon company keeps half of each one of those. I can do math, that's 25. And then we got half. So what we ultimately did for our own, we gave away a 75% discount. Yes, I know. Hopefully you're saying, Sid, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. And I would agree with you. Now, here's what I thought would happen. I thought this coupon thing would go live and then people could buy it for one day. And I figured by looking at what others had sold and talking to the ad agent and everything else, that we'd sell 20, 30 of these. Sounds great. And also, and I'll talk about it a little bit, we put together a very specific, like 4-point strategy to maximize these. I'll tell you about that strategy now, and then I'll tell you what really happened. Okay, first thing for that strategy is we spelled out very clearly. I don't remember the exact details, but we spelled out exactly what a person would get for their $100 worth of window cleaning. It was something like 14 exterior window cleaning. This is for exterior only. It did not include paint removal or silicone or hard water deposits. It's just wash the exterior. We did that because those of you that use a water-fed pull, you know you can get a lot done in a little bit of time, but it was very specific. This many windows, exterior only. We can do that in about 20 minutes. Not a big deal. Okay. Next thing was each person, we would try to upsell them to do the inside. Upsell the inside, which would be another, $100. So now we're not at a 75% discount. We're at a 50% discount or something like that. It makes it break even. The next thing we did is everyone had to agree to a sign, to keep a sign in the yard. So we did the signs. And then the next thing was everyone has to post a review online. And I can't spell that, but that's okay. Review. Cool. I still can't do it. Okay. So we've got, and there was more to it. So anyway, we had a very clear strategy, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that every customer that got a coupon needed to do for us to make this deal work. And the point of it was we wanted to turn it into, we wanted to upsell to get more revenue out of each customer. And then we wanted to also generate a long-term lifetime repeat customer and use them as a point of advertising and social proof so that we could get more business. I will tell you that in every fashion, it was a bust. I think of all the ones we sold, we maybe got 2 reviews. Everybody said yes to a sign. Nobody said yes to inside. And it was a disaster. So let me tell you how bad of a disaster it was. And what is so funny about this is I watched the numbers for the sales go clicking up. And at the end of the day, we didn't sell 20 or 30 of these things. We sold over 200 coupons. 200. 200. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm screwing something up again. Sorry. Let me tell you the reality of that. 200 coupons times $25. Good grief. Times 25 is what? Is that $5,000? I hope that's right. But that is $20,000 of cleaning that we were obligated to do. Now, gratefully, not everyone redeemed their coupon. We probably redeemed 180 of these things. That's $18,000 of cleaning that we did for $5,000. Okay. That's not a good deal for anybody. Forget about it. It did make us incredibly busy, but we were working our butts off losing money. So that's horrible. So I could go into that a little bit deeper and the psychology of it, but I think I'll just stop by saying this. Not only did we lose money on that because of our time, it just attracted a very low end client. It attracted people that are looking for a deal and only looking for a deal. They were not loyal to our company. They were not loyal to me. They didn't give a crap. This is most of them. We did get some repeat customers out of this, but the majority of them, I will say 85% of them, they were just looking for the lowest price, and they were loyal only to price. They were a coupon shopper. They're looking for a sale. And that's not what we want to be. We don't want to be the lowest price option. We want to be the best window cleaner in town, the highest service, the highest quality, all that stuff, and even hopefully the highest price. And so the coupon thing, although it generated close to 200 customers, I would never, ever, I can't draw big enough on it. I would never do that again. And I would discourage you from doing any kind of Grouponing, anything like that, because it just draws in and attracts a low-level customer. Not what you want. Okay, the next thing, and we're getting ready to wrap this up. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. We did live calls. This was not to generate new customers, but what I did is I hired a young lady and gave her a short script to call all our existing customers in the spring. And it wasn't to schedule. It was something about as simple as, hey, this is Janet with Spectrum Window Cleaning, where I'm calling because it's springtime. We're glad you're a customer, and we hope that you get your windows cleaned in spring. Would you like to schedule now? And most of the time we're leaving messages anyway. So, but this, it's a touch point for all our customer base. So all our existing customers were getting flyers, getting mailer. They saw it, heard us on the radio. They see our trucks, they see our signs, they got a call, and they're absolutely stumped with how we could be everywhere in town. Now, everywhere in this context was at the beginning of this program was only 600 people. We live in a town of 60,000. So I'm not even gonna pretend to do the math. I think that's 1%, but that's not a lot, okay, of actual touch points. So that's pretty cheap to target these 600 people. And that's what we did overall. Now, every one of their neighbors got to see us as well. And the people in those neighborhoods got the flyers, got the direct mailers, got all that stuff. Now, the next thing, and I'm not going to go too deep on this because you could go into this for days, was SEO and blogging, which I'm really not a blogger. But what I do is, target certain keywords for our area. If you're in Orlando, Florida, no, that's not a good example. If you're in Bend, Oregon, then, and if somebody wants a windows clean there, they're going to probably Google window cleaning Bend or Bend window cleaners or something, a derivative of that. And I should finish writing that, keywords. So if your website's set up, hopefully you have a blog. Google loves blogs because it's dynamic content. That's part of SEO. That's a micro layer thin part of SEO and stuff. But I wrote a few articles that I posted on the blog, and they were filled with stuff like our keywords, like, let me tell you a story about window cleaning in Missoula. And then I'd write some little article. I'd say, here's the best spring cleaning tips for Missoula. And then in the text, I'd say, remember, you have window cleaning Missoula or Missoula window cleaning. Who's the best window cleaners in Missoula? Just little things like that thrown in. And they weren't even good. But man, Google ate it up, and they put us on the front page a lot. You can Google that if you want to. Also, I made a couple of quick videos. I mean, I'm just talking about like iPhone videos, and put them up and did the same thing. We just did the keyword density, and you take something like that and you put that video embedded on your blog. So it's got a link. You link to it from your Facebook. You post it in a couple places and share it, and then pretty soon you rank high, because who owns YouTube? Google. Yep, and they love videos. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I told you, and you probably get it by now, that I'm pretty transparent, and told you what I tell you what I would never do again. I think you already know the answer to this. Coupons, never again. We do not discount any of our work anymore. The only time we ever did was with that coupon run, and it was a disaster. But even with our own client base, we don't do like, oh, spring cleaning 25% discount or 10% discount. No, we don't. Because I don't want our customers to be conditioned to expect a deal. I want our customers to be conditioned to expect an incredibly high customer experience. I want them to expect on-time service from a uniformed professional driving a lettered van, showing up, knowing what they're supposed to do, how to do it, well-trained, courteous, professional, excellent quality, all of the stuff that I'm assuming you guys want as well. So coupons, nah, forget about it. Discounts, nah, never. Then what are the things that that we do now and that I will always do? This is more fun. Of what we covered, probably in the most effective, the best ROI period is your SEO, is ranking that page, because everybody is looking online. Usually they're looking on their phone. They quickly, they'll say something to their phone like window cleaners, Bend, Oregon. And then these results pop up and they'll look at it and they'll make a decision and they'll click call. Boop. They just hit that. Bam. And they'll call your phone number or they're calling your competitor's phone number. You've got to show up at the top of Google, especially with the Google business pages. That's like a class in itself. So that's something we always do. We always work on SEO. Something else that we always do is we do direct mail. And we do direct mail to our customers, to our existing customer list, and we do it, the EDDM, every door direct mail, because it just works. People go, oh, it's just junk mail. Most people throw it away. Well, that's fine. Most people can throw it away. You don't need everybody. You just need a couple % of people, and you do it over time. It's cost effective and it produces a positive ROI. In my experience, every time. I'm sure somebody's lost money at it, but we have not. Other things that we always do, and that is we always screw up the technology. That's what I do. That's my job. Things that should be obvious for everybody that's on here is have your trucks lettered, maintain a Facebook presence. That goes in the, damn it, I can't get my pen to work here. That goes into the don't do. I just don't even mess with radio anymore. It was expensive. I guarantee I couldn't track a single cell to that, but we did it strategically so that we could appear to be everywhere. That's the only reason, but I won't do it again. Not unless I was doing a great giant saturation point marketing like I did a few years ago. But right now, frankly, we have enough customers that we almost have too many customers. Always lawn signs, always direct mail. And usually flyers. I have some students that put these out for me. And sometimes I don't know, maybe I've gotten a little too complacent or lazy. I'll tell you this, if I was going out to ramp up things tomorrow, this would be probably the first thing on my list. Gratefully, now the majority of our business, 50% of our new business comes from Google search, okay? And another 30% comes from referrals. And then the rest of it comes from any of these other channels here like that. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. I really do hope that you learn something, or something you already knew is reinforced, so that you will turn around and use this to really drive your business in a big way this spring or this year or in the future. I hope you got a ton of value. I'd love you to comment and post and share it and stuff like that. Here's the next thing that I want to tell you. My primary objective was to bring you value that you can use to get more business and to make more money starting tomorrow or today. Okay. Next thing I want to share with you is something that I've decided to do over the course of the next 4 weeks. Is I'm doing a 4-part webinar series that what we're going to do, I'm just calling it the Window Cleaners Marketing Jam. It's going to be a little bit more formal than what I did tonight. It won't be quite as rambly, but we're going to go over in great detail. I'm going to flip back over to my fancy screen, not a slide share right now, and show you what I'm looking at. We're doing the Window Cleaners Marketing Jam. And what this is going to be is a 4-part webinar series, and we're going to dive into how to maximize spring cleaning. That's one part of it, how to really maximize spring cleaning and dominate your marketplace right now, even if you're starting from scratch. I don't care if you have 2 customers right now. If you jump on these webinars with me, I'm going to spill everything I can and bring as much value as I possibly can to help you turn into a marketing, new customer generating machine. Okay? And I mean that in the greatest way. I don't mean being ruthless or cruel or anything weird. I just mean it's my assumption that you're in business because to provide a great service and a great value to people, but you're also in business to make money. I've never met a business owner that said, we went out of business because we had too much business. We had too many customers. Ordinarily, I hear a lot of it the other way around, that people struggle because they don't have enough customers. And I would love to help change that for you. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this little webinar series. And here's a quick overview. I'm not going to go super deep in this, but this is, these are some of the things I touched on earlier on this webinar. Number 1, we're going to do a deep dive on your mindset and strategy. And this, more than anything, is key. This is supposed to be an old skeleton key. That looks, I can't even tell what that looks like. It looks like a dog eating. Never mind. We're going to go into strategy and mindset, which are, frankly, I believe, more important than any tactic or method that you use. But we're going to go deep on that. On week 2, we're going to get into all about inbound. We've got inbound marketing. I divide all of our window clean marketing into 2 categories: inbound marketing, outbound marketing. So inbound is all about being found when your customer is looking for you. 100 years ago, that used to be in the yellow pages. Now it is online. Your customer is looking and they're going to search online, and Google search represents 99% of all search engine traffic. And the best thing that you can do for your business, in my little opinion, is to show up first on Google. And that's what we're going to get into. We're going to get into that in a big way. The next week, we're going to go into all about outbound. And these are marketing methods that I've talked about a little bit tonight. These are things that you can do to go out and get people calling you right now. And that's, so if they're not looking for you, but you show up with a message and an offer that's irresistible, they're going to turn around and call. And so we're going to spend a lot of time getting into some really great detail about what you can do to make the phone ring, even if you don't show up on Google, even if you don't have a website. Okay. Then the next, the 4th week, I'm just going to call this SOE. SOE. I'm going to call it something that doesn't make sense. SEO cookbook. I've got a good friend here in town that is a online marketing genius. His marketing, and he has clients pay him thousands of dollars on a monthly basis to optimize and market their carpet cleaning business. I mean, that's his specialty. But every principle and everything that he does and teaches and shows his people, that he does for his people, it works for window cleaning as well. And he's going to come on with us for the hour and get into some real detail on how to SEO the crap out of your website and show up at the top of Google. That's what you want, so that you can own it. So when people are looking, they find you. Okay. That's desperately important. All right. And then there's more, but I'm not going to tell you about it right now. But here's the thing that I want to share with you. And here's something I want to tell you that's important. Number 1, this, I am going to charge for this. I'm going to charge some dollarinis. Okay. I like green better. And I still screwed this up. Crap. You guys, whoever's on here, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being patient as I destroy my technology by being a goofball. But that's kind of how I roll. I'm charging for this webinar series, but I'm not charging a lot. Here's the thing, and I'll tell you the price in just a second. I'm not trying to be goofy or salesy, but I'm telling you the straight truth. I took my son to see Star Wars when it opened. I normally don't go to the theater for movies, but yeah, he's 12 years old, my youngest son, and he really wanted to see Star Wars, and we went on opening night. And I bought tickets in advance, and it was great. It was well worth it. Tickets were $10.25 a piece, and you may think that's cheap depending on where you live, but for two of them, that's $21. And then we bought a big old thing of popcorn. Movie. We bought popcorn, and I believe it was $6 for the popcorn, so that left us at $27 for a movie experience for my son and I. And I'll have to tell you, it was well worth it. I'm so glad we went. That was wonderful. But that $27, technically, in every other way, aside from the memory, I mean, there's exactly zero tangible anything that I have nothing left of that but a memory. I'm grateful we did it. I would do it again. It was $27. But here's what I'm doing. I'm going to price these webinars. This webinar costs exactly $27 per webinar, not for all four. This is each. $27 each. $27 is throwaway money. It may be important to you at the time. I don't know where you are financially, but here's the thing. $27, I guarantee everybody on here spent that much money to take their kid or their wife, or their girlfriend or boyfriend or something to the movies, 2 tickets and a thing of popcorn. Or this is a pizza and 2 beers. It's not a lot. Okay? But I'm charging this for the webinar because I'm going to bring you so much value that if you're on there, you're going to look at that $27 as an absolute joke. You're going to laugh and you're going to thank me, because it is my greatest desire that this webinar, that each one of them for the measly $27 is going to be worth, you're going to gain something that's going to be 100 times more valuable than that little set 27. So here's the deal. And I'm going to be very frank with this. If you join us on this webinar, do the first one. Just go register for one webinar and pay you $27. After that webinar is over, if you don't believe that it's worth, no kidding, 100 times what you paid, then you send me a message and I'll send your money back. I'll refund it. I don't really care about the dollar amount so much, but I think that, well, I know psychologically and every other way that if you do it for free, you will not pay very much attention compared to if you pay. So I want you to pay $27 and I want you to get 100 times value out of your money. And if you don't like it, get a refund. That's completely fine. And then each week of these 4 weeks, that will be $27 again. And here's what I'm going to attempt to do, and I'll probably mess up technology again. You got to forgive me. I know how to market. I don't know how to use a computer, okay? So forgive me with that. Somewhere in here, I have a button I can click. It's supposed to show up and show you the link to that webinar. I'm going to try it. I don't know if it's going to work. Give me a second. I'm looking at all the controls on this thing, and to me, it's just goofy. I don't really get it. Yep, I broke it. I don't know how to do this. Hold on. Effects draw webinar. Yeah, so forgive me. I really don't know what I did or what I'm trying to do, but I'm going to figure out real quick. Give me just a second. I'm going to show you a link to the Window Cleaners Marketing Jam, and give me a sec. And forgive me, this is silly, but I'm new at webinars. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, this is so ghetto. Forgive me. I'm going to go back to my little chicken scratchy thing that I was sharing with you a minute ago, my little page. And hopefully this works. Here's the link. This is a silly ass way to do it, but that's the best I can do. Wow. That's the link. That's a long link for you to look at and type in. I'm going to try to put this in the comments so that you can just cut and paste. Sorry about that. If you're still watching after this long, you deserve a little medal. Here it is. Hopefully You can copy and paste, or you can just click on that link directly. I don't even know if that shows up in the replay. It's showing up now, but click there and go to it and join me on the 4-part series on what I call the Window Cleaners Marketing Jam. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you straight, that webinar series is going to cook so hard. And right now, as we're recording this is the best time of the year to get your marketing stuff in order so that you can prepare to just kill it in spring cleaning. And here's why. Here's the little psychological thing. We live in an area, if you've ever seen the movie A River Runs Through It, old movie with Brad Pitt, that was filmed in our area. The guy that wrote it lived in Missoula. It was written about Missoula. And it's a fun and a great movie. But one thing that you need to know is if you're going fishing, if you're a fisher, you already know this, that the best time to go fishing, is when the fish are biting. You can be the best fisherman in the world and go when the fish aren't running, when they're not biting, you're probably not going to do very well. You can be a rank amateur and go when the fish are hungry, and you're going to catch a lot more fish. Okay, so my opinion, again, and that's what I'm telling you a lot of, but it's stuff that I've known and learned from books and then learned from application experience, is that the best time for you to garner a lot of new business and a lot of momentum is spring cleaning, because people are thinking about you already. You just have to make sure that you're found, that they find you and use you more than your competition. So right now is the time to position all this stuff and get it ready so that when spring cleaning season hits in your neighborhood, you can launch with gusto. You can be perceived as everywhere at the same time, and you can just crush it with grabbing new business and new customers. Okay, so last time I'm going to mention it, we got this webinar series going on. It's in the notes, it's in the chat. I don't know where else to put it. I kind of screwed up with technology. I am, sorry, but it's going to be a great series. Excuse me. And it's $27 per webinar, and you don't have to, if you don't want to spend the money, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But if you want to launch your business and make it really rock, I recommend wholeheartedly that you be there. That's all I've got. I appreciate you, appreciate your time. Thanks for watching me goof up. I hope you learned something valuable. Post it on our Facebook wall at Squeegeology, Facebook Squeegeology. And until next time, have a great night. Let's keep it real. I'll see you later. Thanks.